Then, then how we answer themes. I think I've told you how we answer themes. We put them in topic sentences. Next is students must avoid using the past tense when answering literature questions. Literature is present and it presents issues or ideas that are still happening in our day-to-day lives. So literature is present, it's not past. So when we are answering questions in literature, whether it is in the set books, whether it is in prose, these passages that they give you, whether in poetry, we don't use past tense when answering literature, we use present tense. For example, let me give you a case in point. Let me use an example of, maybe they have asked you to explain the key ideas. They can ask you to explain in the play The Heart Soothers, Jimmy's character traits. In the play The Heart Soothers by Sylvester, it is current in the Ugandan syllabus. So if the question is asking you to explain the subject to explain the character traits of maybe a certain character in a novel or play. For example, they can ask you to explain Jimmy's character traits in the play The Heart Soothers. One, you can say Jimmy is hot-tempered, not Jimmy was hot-tempered. We use present. Another answer you could say Jimmy is impulsive. Is. Or you could say Jimmy is a womanizer. Jimmy is unfaithful. Like that. We don't say Jimmy was. We don't use the past tense. Literature is present, so we use the present tense when answering. Then, when answering questions do with character traits, they can give you a poem and they can ask you to describe the character traits of the character in that poem. Or they can ask you to describe the character traits of the speaker in the poem or the persona in the poem. Now when we are answering questions do with character traits, we state the trait in a sentence. When they ask you to describe the character traits, for example, of Lawino, in the poem, my husband's tongue is bitter by Okot Bibitek. When explaining character traits, we say, we state the character trait in a sentence, followed by we give the meaning of that trait. Then now we add the example of that, the example of what shows from the poem. So we put the trait in a sentence, give its meaning, then now the example last. For example, if I use that poem, my husband's tongue is bitter by Okot Bibite, I could describe Lawino's character traits as, I would say, Lawino is abusive. She uses harsh words to describe her husband's mistress, Clementine. She says and calls Clementine. She says that Clementine resembles a wizard getting ready for a midnight dance. She even goes ahead to say that Clementine's mouth is like royals and her mouth looks like an open ulcer. So I have put the trait in a sentence. Clementine is abusive. Then I have given the meaning of being abusive is she uses harsh words. She uses harsh words to describe her husband's mistress, Clementine. Now that is the meaning of being abusive. Then now I've added the example from the poem where she calls Clementine that she looks like a wizard getting ready for a midnight dance. Then, so that is how we answer questions with character traits. Then when answering lessons,